Ramon SEO. To the double TV funnel in these bookies like 1, 2, 3. They tapping out and we cashing out. It's plain to see. The morning steam is the A-team, Mr. T. And I pity the fools who can't hang. Coming with real game is sort of a freight train. It's been reported bank rolls are easy to maintain. So get situated and listen to the picks. And it goes a little something like this.
All right, and a pleasant good morning to you from Tony'sPicks.com. I'm Ramon Scott. Welcome to the morning steam for Sunday, January 7th, the final day of the NFL regular season. We don't know everything yet. We'll know more in a few hours. And what's your team going to do in the postseason? I know what my team's going to do, sitting on their you know what's not going to the postseason. How's your team looking heading into the final day of the season? Some spots are up for grabs. How about what we saw yesterday in the NFL? We saw CJ Stroud. Hey, your team doesn't have CJ Stroud, I bet. Do we have any real Texans fans in here? Man, you gotta love this kid, don't you? I mean, wow, totally awesome again yesterday. Houston, to play as well as they have this season and make the playoffs, with a rookie head coach and a rookie quarterback who got injured, didn't have great has great receivers. They weren't always there all season, getting hurt here and there. First pass of the game made your jaw just drop, didn't it? I mean, that first pass of the game is a championship quality right there. And boy, you just wish Stroud had all of his receivers healthy going into the postseason. Man, Texans 8-1 against the spread in their last 9 AFC South road games. Colts couldn't convert any third downs. I think they finally got one, right? The announcers were even making fun of the Colts a little bit in that. Just awesome. How about the Texans yesterday? Really spectacular, awesome job. And the other game, Steelers 17-10 against the Ravens. Come on, how's it not going to be 17-10 on a cruddy day like that? The game was 7-7 heading into the fourth quarter when Mason Rudolph took his big gamble, and the Steelers pulled one out of the old deep ball playbook, a 71-yard TD pass. Don't look now, Mason Rudolph 8-4-1 as a starter. Pretty good. Pittsburgh finishes 10-7. They're probably not going to get in. They need a miracle of events to happen, but Pittsburgh, kind of that team again, right? You look at them and you say, well, look at me. With Tomlin, good season. And they gave it everything they had. Maybe if they just had a little, maybe they would have figured out Mason Rudolph earlier, right? I keep saying, why do we have these, why do we keep trying different quarterbacks, or why don't we go to backups sooner sometimes? There we go. I'm watching FA Cup action this morning. Let's say hello to a few folks. I could talk more about the game, but you saw them. Let's say hello. See who's here. Ziggy was here first. I saw Ziggy's play come up. I don't know if I can even, follow Ziggy on Twitter. I could give out the game right now. Maybe Ziggy already did. I saw Ziggy's tweet for his big play today. If I'm not mistaken. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to give it away. I want everybody to visit Ziggy on Twitter. But if I could say anything about who Ziggy is on today, I think it has something to do with. Well, let's just. Perky is here. He's got the Bucks today. It looks like. Want to say hello to Gerard Dreyer here today. Thank you for stopping by and saying hi, Gerard. We're going to get to our picks here in just a minute. Chad had a big day here again on the show. How about it? Chad coming in every day. The Futon Bets is here today. Great job. Futon Bets, nice to see you. Betting and sitting on the futon. And Thomas is here today as well. Okay. Airplane Boop stopping by today. Always good to see Airplane Boop. Don't get to see Airplane Boop every day. Poppy is here, ready to roll. Arnez Little, how about it? Nice to see you. Let's get it. Let's get some more. Sakori, where you been? How you been? Hopefully you've been checking in. Sakori Wilder stopping by today on the last day of the season. And I think that's it so far. Salty, talking a little NHL action from yesterday. We had some winners certainly on the ice here on the show, didn't we? You bet we did. We had the Flames and the Flyers under. We had the Panthers and the Avalanche over. We had the Canucks and the Devils over. We had the Lightning and the Bruins over. Let's get to some winners today in just a moment. We also had the Penguins and the Sabres under yesterday. We had the Predators and the Stars over. A lot of hockey wins here on the show. Going to also go over to Tony'sPicks.com real quick. Just take a look. We got a lot of games to preview. We got to do the whole NFL card. I hope you guys are ready to go. I'm going to be over on that other one of those other channels today. I don't know, it's the last week, and they said I'm in 5th place out of all their guys that have been on the shows this year. So let's go win some more over there and promote Tony's Picks. That's what we do. All right, let's head on over to Tony'sPicks.com and see who's atop the handicapper leaderboards from yesterday. It's Gene got picks with a huge day yesterday. 15-3 for Gene, one of our newest cappers here at Tony'sPicks.com. Probably Sam Amerty on the top of the leaderboards here at 9-3-1. The two old ladies that bet consensus. That's when you have Mindy Hahn and Tiffany Mance agreeing on a play. They went 4-0 on their consensus picks. Ron Crawford went 4-2. Nick Lagarettos went 2-1. Chauncey Giles went 1-0 on Saturday. Joseph Schultz went 2-1. Marlon Pettis went 1-0. And Hollywood Sam 3-2, Collins Brown 2-1, Mindy Hahn 11-8-1, Tiffany Mance 8-7-1, Ralph Raymond ended up in the green yesterday. Over the last 7 days, it's Mindy Hahn up 18-71. Nick Lagarettos is up 13-12. Gene got picks up 8-06. Ron Crawford up 7-24, and Mark Butterscotch Eubanks is up $6.95. Remember, these are based on $100 unit wagers. Basically, wager on a favorite X to win 100, and on a dog 100 to win X. And that's how we keep score here on the website. Mindy Hahn, very hot over the last 30 days, up 44 units of profit. And Tiffany Mance continues to roll as well, up 35.5 units. For the ladies, Nick Lagarettos is up 22.25 units. Gene got picks up 18 2/3 units, and Mark Butterscotch Eubanks is up 17.25 units. Get ready for the action today by going to our premium picks section. And there you can grab our premium picks. Absolutely, our best picks are over at Tony'sPicks.com. We're about to give you some free winners here up and down the channel here with our videos today from Tony and myself here today. But check out our 3-packs, 5-packs, 7-packs from our team, including Gene Got Picks, Ron Crawford, Ben Ruhala, probably Samba Murdy. They're all ready to roll with their NFL action. Collins Brown, Hollywood Sam, and how about Ramon Scott? He's got a 3-pack today. Just 3 picks for me on the early card, but I've got a 3-pack for $25 today. Probably my lightest day of the season here on the final day of the season as far as NFL. You'll also have an afternoon package. I believe the same. Actually, I haven't finalized the afternoon package. Do want to see what's going on a little bit in the early window and see how things are shaken down, because we know that, well, today is all about playoff positioning and, a few teams trying to get in and get into the playoffs or improve their positioning. So click on the All Cappers tab, find the handicapper of your choice, click on their handicapper profile page, and that's how you get signed up here at Tony'sPicks.com. All right. Appreciate you listening to that, and please consider subscribing to our picks. Take a look. Yes, I was in the NFL last calendar year here on the site. You see, these are the numbers here for 2023 on our handicapper leaderboards, and I was up 21.3 units from January 1st of 2023 to December 31st of 2023. So let's keep it going today. Consider me for my NFL package there, and you see college basketball, NHL, some of my strong sports. Okay, thanks a lot. We got to get going with the picks today, and we'll start with the NFL certainly, and see if we got anybody else stopping in to say hi. Just some good conversation. Doubles is here today. All right, let's roll then, shall we? Because we got to talk about all these NFL games. Maybe on the games that have no impact, we'll just gloss over them a little bit. But some of them have certainly major impact in the standings and the playoff picture. So let's get started with the action here with the Falcons and the Saints in the top of the board. We're going in rotation order here, so the Falcons can win the NFC South. If they win and Tampa Bay loses, New Orleans needs this win and some help to find their way into the postseason. The Saints have won 3 of their last 4 straight up, and the Falcons have lost 3 of their last 4 straight up. And as appropriately here, or interestingly, it's still the Falcons kind of with a more interesting position to a certain extent, just because of the, tiebreakers, head-to-heads, and all that as far as where these teams stand right now. So here you have a situation where Atlanta's been going back and forth this season with their quarterback situation, right? It's really been kind of a disaster because Ritter hasn't turned out to be what they thought, and they kept going back to him. You have Heineke, 13 and 15 as a starter. So for the Saints, who we're getting, with Derek Carr in there today, and his receivers. I mean, these guys are pretty good. The defense has been okay, certainly here. The Saints have gone under in 3 of their last 4 games. The Falcons have gone under in 4 of their last 6 games coming in. Are you guys on here? Am I not? Okay, you guys are all in here. I don't see anybody necessarily. Here's Ziggy. He's ready to start commenting. I was worried here. I didn't see anybody ready to chime in yet. Maybe you're waiting for me to cover some of the head-to-head trends or something. How about it? The Falcons, of course, beat New Orleans 24-15 at home in Week 12. Atlanta had 228 yards rushing in that game. could Atlanta find their running game here? The Saints have won 8 of the last 11 games in this series, but the Falcons have covered 3 of their last 4 trips into the Superdome. Total has gone under in 6 of their last 9 meetings. NFC South games right now definitely running a little bit to the under here, or to the underdogs, I should say, 6-3-1 right now. NFC South underdogs. Of course, with all the games this weekend, they're all division games, certainly. So that also impacts what's going on here in the NFC South. Thomas says Atlanta's defense keeps them in this game. They're going to be clock management city here and take the under, is what he says. I'm going to take the Saints in this game just a little bit here. Look, I've got to lay 3 points. It doesn't really feel that comfortable. It does feel like it's going to be a 3-point game. I'm pretty much always going to try to lay a spread here on the show. That's what I do. Look, it probably is going to be very close to a 3-point game, and I do think the Saints will win. Could be a last-second field goal. Maybe the money line is the safer play, but if I've got to take one side or the other based on the spread, I'm going to take the Saints to win this one. I think the Falcons are the team that have let's just say less of a future to a certain extent, right? I mean, it seems like Dennis Allen, maybe there's a little bit of momentum growing that Allen could still be okay. Yeah, there's a lot, certainly, easy to punch fun at a little bit. I don't know, but it seems a little bit more kosher than the situation, you know, over than the situation over with Atlanta. Uh, feels like they could move on and get a new coach and a new everything necessarily, but who knows? Maybe Daddy will come up with some money and they'll keep coach in place and whatnot. But all right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and take the Saints in this one. I could appreciate you guys talking about the under here. First game was 39 points. These teams do go under. Yeah, we're indoors with the Saints. And, like I said, I do like the Saints. Sometimes I think their passing game is just fine with Carr. He's the one certainly making the mistakes here and there, but hard to miss sometimes with these receivers. Kamara is questionable coming into this one, but just get it to your guys. Olave, Shaheed, they're getting other guys involved as well. I'll go ahead and take the Saints today. Looks like you guys aren't going to be too hot on the NFL. More NBA talk right now. Wow. Here as we get into this one with the Browns and the Bengals. Bengals going to be a big favorite here because the Browns, their situation is pretty much taken care of here. They've already clinched a playoff spot, and the great Joe Flacco will rest here today. I still contend that, if you had to take a guy, like if you had them both back and you were like, oh, well, here we go. We've got Deshaun Watson and we've got Joe Flacco. Who would you take is what, kind of, I don't know, maybe we shouldn't even waste time with it to a certain extent. But remember, it was Watson that was 5-1 when he left. So look, I get it. Stefanski's the coach of the year. Maybe here over this, maybe he'll win it over these guys. I've been complaining about trying to, between Campbell and Stefanski, and I said, hey, the guy really is John Harbaugh, because really, who is the talent there other than Jackson? I mean, the emergence of Zay Flowers and Lockett gets injured early. Andrews is on the shelf, and he's been injured a lot. Great defense with, not a lot of big name talent, but just a great team. Anyways, let's talk about the Browns. Jeff Driscoll gets the start here. It'll be the 5th start for the fifth starter for the Browns this season. They're still going to the playoffs. They've won and covered their last 4 games. Doesn't matter who you throw out there. Maybe we'll see Driscoll have success, but he used to be with the Bengals for a while. He's 1-9 in his career as an NFL starter, and he's going up against the great Jake Browning here. 7.5-point favorite. Doesn't feel real comfortable, even though we're expecting the Browns probably to have a lack of interest here. They still, should come with a little bit of defense. Cleveland has gone over in 5 of their last 6 games. They're 9, 14, and 1 in their last 24 games against the spread, coming off of a win. But here again, despite the fact that they've won 9 of their last 12 and gone 7-2 against the spread in their last 9, they're probably not expected to be too interested in competing here, while the Bengals, they've been eliminated from the race after last week. They've gone over in 6 of their last 8 games. Browning is now 3-3 as a starter, but kind of all the up arrows on him right now is why we have the Bengals as such a big favorite. The Browns beat the Bengals 24-3 in the shocking season opener. We've come a long way since then, but Cleveland has won 9 of the last 11 games in this series, despite the Bengals' surgence to the top of the AFC. The elite teams of the AFC over the last few years with Joey B. But over has gone 6-2-2 in the last 10 meetings. Underdogs this season in AFC North have been getting it done. 7-3 underdogs in this division so far. So what are you going to do when the Bengals, who have nothing to play for, but supposed to be the Browns resting all their players? So what are you gonna do in this one? Ray says take the Browns, but Ziggy's on the Bengals. And Salty says tread lightly. Again, most of my you see my record there, right? They're 270 games in an NFL regular season plus some playoff games as well. And so, you get up to, 290 or so, right? And people say you had 230 premium plays in well, I guess if you add last year's postseason too, right? So maybe 300 games total in a calendar year in the NFL. And I had premium plays on 230 of them. You bet I did. The NFL are always going to get the most premium plays. There's the most information out there, the best research, the importance of the games. You only have 17 games now. Every game is thoroughly. I mean, it's not like 162 games or 80 games or 82 games. It's every stone is unturned in the NFL. I'm on almost every game now. Today, like I said, week 16 probably just going to be half the games here, but the ones that matter. And again, probably not going to see any premiums in, say, the Jets and the Patriots. Hint, hint, hint. Let's move on here, though, with the Browns and the Bengals with your comments. And the Bengals want to finish strong. They've actually shown some heart here. Maybe they knew in the long run they weren't going to necessarily make it. Here comes Peter Mack on the under. And Bengals at opening day revenge. Maybe, yeah. But I think mostly it's about Browns resting players and Bengals, maybe with a quarterback who is motivated also with Browning, right? If he's not with the Bengals, he certainly could try to earn some money here and maybe even get a better paying backup job. I don't think anybody's going to take Jake Browning as their next starter necessarily, although he's looked certainly starter worthy to a certain extent in some moments, but have big questions really. So, all right. Ziggy says he calls this a tip. It's good to bet against must-win teams. Whew, I would say that's a controversial state or a lightning rod statement to a certain extent. I get it. must-win teams, you're always probably going to end up paying a little bit of tax against them. But sometimes I've certainly seen the must-win team can roll as well. So maybe just matter of picking your spots as always. But basically, broad brushing it, a good bet to bet against must-win teams. We'll talk about a few of them here as we go along. All right. Anyways, did you guys make the call on this one? I've got the under here. The Browns are looking to get in and get out. The Bengals are still going to go up against a pretty decent Browns defense. I imagine they'll have a few starters in there, and Browns are mostly their program is about the defense here. This total's already dropped about 3 points. So I'm going to take the under in this one with the Browns and the Bengals. All right. T. Higgins, doubtful. Next up, that game between the Jets and the Patriots. Here's a goal for Man City right now, it looks like, in the FA Cup today. That's our featured coverage, I would think. There's a action from Italy as well. I didn't see the guys in the chat to get us rolling in soccer just yet, but FA Cup's probably the featured. A lot of the games are now and in an hour. Top of the hour FA Cup. Hey, also, real quick, we're on it here with the Jets and the Patriots, but hey, we're alive. I don't know if anybody played our 3 long shots this week we talked about on the show in golf, but I do know that our 151 to 1 shot, our 150 to 1 shot is tied 3 shots back. The way he played yesterday, if he had the same round he did on today, we'll have a shot to win with this 150 to 1 shot. So maybe he gets a little bit in contention, and I can work a little bit of hedging there. But just want to mention that we mentioned back on Thursday morning, because this one's in Hawaii, our 3 long shot picks over there at the Century, and hopefully you got on the or not, probably save your money. But I did want to mention that our guy Harris English, 18 under, he shot a 64 yesterday, lowest score in the field yesterday. He is 3 shots back of Chris Kirk, who leads at 21 under. And everybody's shooting in the 60s, so it's going to be a shootout, and anything can happen in this one. And could also get a little equity here if I could just get him like into the top 3 or 4 with maybe 4 or 5 holes to play. Might be able to work a little magic and get some money out of this one. It's gonna be tough to win. Thomas is on. He might have just played them and forgot about it. So get ready, Thomas, if you want to watch a little golf today. They tee off at like 11:30, so it won't be till the usual time here late, 2:30, 3:30 when they get down to the end. But check in and see if you can get one of the other golfers. Like if you're sitting there ready to win, if you put $10 on it or whatever, that'd be great. Win 1,500. And if you're in position, to put a nickel on another golfer, if you get down to 2 or 3, to put 200 on a guy at 1.5 to 1, and the other guy $50 on him if he's like 4 or 5 to 1. So you know how to do it, I think. All right, let's go on here though with the Jets and the Patriots. So bad weather conditions expected here. I haven't seen the latest update. Maybe I'll go into it right now, but this is the problem. Okay, all you weather guys, the weather doesn't matter. It's the wind. Well, what happened last night? The ball was slipping. You couldn't catch the ball. Okay, so you want to say, oh, well, it's rain. Yeah, sometimes the rain. Well, I remember some games that have been played in New England in a few inches of snow that have been pretty, you just hang on to the ball, run the ball into the line of scrimmage. Look at the total right here. I mean, I'm not kidding you. It's 29.5 here. It's 29, actually, in a lot of places, probably too high. If the conditions warrant what we are expecting here today, where we're going to have a snowy day and the snow accumulating on the ground, 3, 4, 5 inches of snow, a white field. It just feels like that's what we're going to do. So anybody in the New York area, I'm sorry, Boston area here to tell us about what's going on. I mean, I have a weather report right here. I mean, it says uh, snow throughout the day, 36 degrees. Maybe it could be a wintry mix, as we like to call it, and that might even make things more treacherous. So, again, I think for me in this one, I'm going to go ahead and I believe I have pinned the under here in this one. Of course, I have here too much volatility, really, I would think, to even give out a team here. If it were a nice cold day, I'd be on the Patriots, but in snowy conditions, anything can happen. It's going to be crazy. I don't want to. We could have some fun. I'm going to be betting on the game. I'm going to have some fun bet on the game, maybe on the Patriots, but take the under for my uh, for my good bet here on the show. The one I'll probably be, this a situation where yes, neither of these teams are going to the playoffs. Still a pro football game, and I'm going to play in the weather. Quite frankly, maybe you don't want to do that. That's fine. Here comes some plays on it, and here's a Chad still waiting for the NBA, but Chad, the NFL is a real big deal. Still, despite the fact there's a one channel, you guys are probably familiar with the one channel. Their main host really is not fond of the. He says a terrible product. Uh, runs a popular gambling channel with a website that touts picks and everything like that. But I would say this is pretty awesome NFL football. But maybe I'm just troublemaker here. Let's take a look here. Ziggy says he's got this one. He took it under like when it first opened. Maybe he got this one before the season started. I don't know. Was there really ever a 38 out there? When it first opened, yeah, if Ziggy, he's on top of it. There were a bunch of 38 openers, like nobody knew what was going on at the very beginning, and Ziggy was on top of it. Futon Bet says take the Patriots. And this is it for the Patriots. Here's the thing, right? I think Belichick comes back now. I don't know. I feel like Belichick comes back one more time. And will this be the game that they could? I don't know. I think they're playing a little bit better with Zappy. I actually think they've blown it here. I probably should have tried to develop Zappy. He is 4-3. His record. I just don't know Chad here. Um, Belichick. No, I don't think so. And Bill could be the type of guy, though. I mean, he's made a lot of money. Again, I don't think the Chargers will get Harbaugh because he will command too big of a salary. Maybe the Raiders might be the best spot. Maybe the Raiders will stick with the guy they had now. But 10-0, Thomas says. Ziggy loves the snow. Remember the old game where you'd turn on the electricity and the men would move? I used to put baby powder there. It's snowing here, and then I'd draw on the lines. Okay, but I'm a little loopy. Futon Bets is there, apparently. No freezing winds, that's what we're saying. Okay. Thank you, Futon Bets. Awesome. Ray here on the Patriots money line. And Poppy, right? But you know what? It's also Poppy popular, but like, right? I mean, for attention seekers, right? Attention, people who want the attention on them. It's easy to, but they're wrong. I mean, they're just wrong. The numbers would say, sure, you put your game on Amazon Prime, and they're wondering why the viewership goes down 50%. Okay, I get it, and you can't find the games or whatever. Silly Squad TV. Maybe no, I don't know about just doesn't make sense to me. It's a pretty good. I don't know. I'm captivated by it, by the NFL. Okay, here we go. That's right, Salty. That's right. So one more, they'd have to fire him. The other thing that's been talked about now, though, is could look, Tampa Bay's got an interesting situation, but Tampa Bay could be the other place for Bill Belichick other than out west. Okay, enough of this game. What are we doing here? I'll take the under. Gosh, I'm sorry, you guys. That was terrible to talk about that game for that long. It was 15-10 in week 3. Patriots beat the Jets as a 2-point favorite. Jets are 1-6 against the spread last 7 trips to Foxborough. Patriots, of course, have won 16 straight games against the New York Jets. Last 4 games have stayed under. Jaguars and Titans in a game here. The Jaguars must win. This is so important for them. They win the AFC South. If they win this game, and they've been fumbling and bumbling down the stretch, lost 3 of their last 4. And, well, it does look like Lawrence will make it to the lineup. I think we're still waiting for him to officially get cleared, but I mean, it seemed like all systems were go here for Lawrence. It does feel like he is being rushed back into the lineup here, but what can you do? This is a playoff game. You've got to win this game. So he is probable. He's going up against Tannehill here. To me, maybe it's over for Tannehill. Maybe Will Levis is the guy moving forward, but nonetheless, Tannehill gets a chance. It doesn't feel like his career is necessarily over. It doesn't ever feel like he ever reached the peak, or maybe he did reach the peak of his career when he signed a big contract, and maybe it wasn't deserving. Maybe he will never be what we thought he could be, but he'll get one last chance here against a Jaguars team that, well, quite frankly, now they are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 AFC South games, but on the road, but still going to lay points here with a Jacksonville team that, man, they just struggle just to get the win sometimes, and don't feel like they cover against teams very well. Now they are 5-2 against the spread. Last 7 games as road favorites. I mean, they're in the role that they usually can get the money. It's as a home favorite where they kind of struggle. Titans have lost 7 of their last 9. They're in a little bit of an upheaval, but they are playing in a perfect spoiler role. It feels like today they're 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 AFC South home games, but 13-7 against the spread in their last 20 games as a home underdog. Does feel like a pretty good role here for the Titans. Could this be, their situation is tumultuous, I would think, on their staff as well. I mean, they have a decent program that was moving forward and just ended up with some tough luck in a way. Yeah, maybe they weren't as good to a certain extent, but Jaguars beat Tennessee 34-14 at home in Week 11 as a 6.5-point favorite, and Jacksonville has scored an average of 30 points a game in the last 3 games against these guys, but the Jaguars are 2-6 against the spread in their last 8 trips here to Nashville, over in 4 of the last 6 meetings. Anything here for you guys in this one? And Chad says, if the Jags lose, we saw it. The AFC situation right now, you've got the, Bills certainly looking to win. They can basically win and you're in here. The Steelers are the team that kind of rolls right there in the situation where they would end up, because, right, the situation was the Texans, got in as the AFC South team, but the Jaguars can still win the division. So that would propel them ahead of the Texans, who would fall to the wild card. If not, the Jaguars are out, and then that's where the other teams come into play with the Bills and the Steelers here currently. So it's a fluctuating picture in the AFC involving the Jaguars, but it's basically win and you win the division here, the AFC South. So, okay, any more comments here on this one? Nice, Peter Mack. Nice to have you here. Solo on the Titans in this one. Okay, anything else here? Ray on the Titans. Okay, Thomas on the Jaguars here. Ziggy on the Titans. Yeah, you feel like, with Vrabel, right? Probably not if you get a decent coach, it feels like you don't want to let a guy go unnecessarily and have to start over. I mean, it doesn't feel like Vrabel was necessarily the issue. It felt like if any one of the it felt like the Titans were in that unlucky category this year. Titans, Bengals. It's fluid, Chad. Maybe that should be Berkey's line. All right, Titans money line here. Don't mind that. Thomas, thank you. All right, let's keep moving on. Man, this is the NFL. After all. Hard to sell picks if you don't like the sport. Here's the Vikings and the Lions in this one. The Lions, congratulations. They're probably still celebrating here their first division title since 1993 in Detroit. They're obviously going to get to host their first home playoff game in 30 years. Apparently, Dan Campbell's not satisfied, and he's going to go ahead and play his starters here because they've got the slimmest of chances to get the number 2 seed. Again, Dan Campbell, not necessarily the coach of the year, guys. Let's face it. You're looking at a really, really slim chance, and probably, again, they could be smart enough to maybe even rest the starters in the second half once they see things are not kind of going their way. It would take a combination of some pretty good teams losing to some pretty bad teams in order for the Lions to kind of move up into trying to get the number 2 position. That's where teams are battling right now for that number 2 seed in the NFC, the Cowboys, the Lions, right? And to a certain extent, I believe the Eagles here, and the Niners, of course, at number 1 seed. They have a game against the Rams, and we'll talk about it. But for the Lions, they still are one of the best spread teams around with Campbell here, and the Vikings, of course, are they're on the outside looking in. They've already been nearly eliminated. I mean, they've got about a 10% chance, I think the NFL.com said, of them getting in to the postseason. They need to win and help. So, they're feeling like they can compete, but unfortunately, they've got Mullins in there at quarterback, and he's 5-15 as a starter. It's the best they could do here at this point. Mullins, 67% completion rate, 5 touchdowns, 6 interceptions in his appearances so far this season. The Vikings here, though, against the Lions, of course, they met back 2 weeks ago. The Lions won that one 30-24 as a 2.5-point favorite. The Vikings could not run the ball at all. What makes you think they're going to be able to run it here? Minnesota has won 8 of the last 11 series games, but the Lions have won 3 of the last 5 now. Here, over has gone 7-1 in the last 8 meetings between these two teams, and I've got to think that this one goes way over here today. You've got the Lions in here thinking they're going to go out. You got a bitter Amon-Ra St. Brown thinking he should have been in the Pro Bowl. Why wouldn't they maybe pile up a few points here today and get over 46.5? In this one. I usually don't put the juice on there on these football games. I don't know why I did that. Maybe it is down to 46 or so, but I'm going to go over in this one. And let's see if you guys have anything Curtis says, "What was the last pick in the did I not do it? Jaguars and Titans? Maybe I didn't do it. Did I'm on the under. I'm sorry. Maybe I did not say what I was on in the How embarrassing. I'm on the under in the Jaguars and the Titans for sure in that one. Sorry about that. Thank you for saying that. Yeah. Okay. And Ziggy says, Dan, that's right. That's what, that's kind of the thing, right? And you don't want to be, okay, logically, you should play the players until you see it, unfolding as they're not going to make it to the next seed. But you should also be realistic. And I agree. I believe they are playing with a bit of chip on their shoulder, and you can't do that in this necessarily in this league. But I think the Lions are probably in a pretty good position today against the Vikings. It looked like the Vikings, look, they have a chance, but I think I think they're more realistic about their situation. I will say this NFC North Division games this year, NFC North Division this season, the road teams are 9-1 against the spread in all games this season in the NFC North. 9-1 against the spread, all road teams in the NFC North. All right. Reginald said, "Hey, Teresa, hello." She made a pick on Jacksonville in that other game. Thomas Bird, ready to capitalize. How about the bonus of the year? Jadeveon Clowney. Who didn't feel the emotion? Have you ever really seen a person, I don't know. I mean, I guess if you watch a game, sometimes, guy makes a lot of money, but Jadeveon Clowney, because of a referee's rule, a correct ruling, it looked like there. We got the sack. He needed it to be ruled an incomplete. I needed to be ruled in the grasp or whatever it was, and he made $750,000 on that one play. And you can see a guy let out some emotion. That wasn't fake, man. The guy just made $750,000. Let's pay taxes on, and he celebrated it right on the field in front of everybody. That was hot. That was hot. That was some pretty fun NFL football to watch. That was cool. All right. For Nancy Fernando, just avoid week 18. I could never do that. All right. Lions money line for Futon. Right? That's what I'm saying. You ever see a guy really win $750,000? Not really. Not really. It's hard, Where are some other examples of it? Here. Okay, let's give the pick on this one is on the over, Minnesota and Detroit. All right. Buccaneers and Panthers in this one. And yes, the Buccaneers can clinch the NFC South with a win. They've won 4 of their last 5 games. They lost to the Saints last week. Might have saw that coming. NFL winning streaks don't last too long. They're playing a decent team. They've covered 7 of their last 10 games. Tampa Bay, 7-1 against the spread on the road this season. They are a road favorite here, though. A lot of times they've been the dog to a certain extent. Buccaneers 5-9 against the spread in their last 14 games as a road favorite. So you got a big time dichotomy there. What are they this year? That would be great, right? So Tampa Bay 7-1 against the spread on the road this season, but 5-9 against the spread their last 14 as a road favorite. So what are they this season? They're 0-0. They haven't been a road favorite all season. So which trend do you side with necessarily in this one? You got Baker in here, certainly against Bryce Young. Bryce Young has slowly but surely shown this much improvement over the season. He'll get one more chance here in the finale to, kind of show his wares a little bit. And Carolina has had some okay defensive efforts, I guess you could say. Tampa Bay won 21-18 as a 3.5 point favorite at home in week 13. It was Carolina that got the money. Tampa's won 7 of the last 8 games. 5 of the last 7 meetings have gone over between these two teams, but I don't think that's going to happen here. I've got the under in this one. Panthers will show up a little bit, and I kind of prefer my uh, my 2-14 teams at the end of the season sometimes over the 6-11s, 6-10s, if you know what I mean. Here, maybe the Panthers just a little bit spoilerish here in this one against the Bucks that have been. Hey, this is a nice little run here, but I don't know if they can necessarily get the money in this one. In fact, let's take the Panthers here as the play as an underdog, shall we? We've got burned out with them so many times this year. We're going to go one more time to the well and hope we can turn around. I'm going to take the Panthers to grab the money here at least. It's probably even 3.5 at this point, isn't it? Yeah, I'm showing a lot of 3.5s out there. We better grade it at 3.5. I see a 4 at DraftKings still. It's a pretty big book, but we'll challenge ourselves. Take 3.5 with the Panthers. Maybe it'll be a 3-point game again, and maybe nobody will show up to the game, and Panthers will be all mad and they'll play good. All right. Probably a low scoring game, I'm thinking, but let's give the let's go ahead and take the Panthers. Anything from you guys on this? This one, this one means something.
Final.
All right, here we go with Tampa Bay money line for Teresa. Ziggy's on the Panthers here, and the lexicon. Nice to see you, Lex here. Right. Uh, just feel bad for Bryce Young. It might not be, maybe not the best situation moving forward for the Panthers. They're not going to, they put all this money into him, the frustration. You saw the owner, right, with that incident, throwing his ice on the fans out of in Jacksonville out of frustration, had to pay a $300,000 fine this week. He was the one in that meeting making the call to everybody's account to a certain extent. Yeah, you say, yeah, if you're, the coach is, and you want to be, but, yeah, sure, we were 50-50 on him or Stroud anyways, so we got our guy. But, all right. Thomas says Bryce going to throw the picks. They're playing boops on the Bucks. And Baker maybe a little banged up. Good point of that other game. Good to talk about. Okay, that's it. Give me the Panthers here. Maybe even a sprinkle the money line. We're into the afternoon card now with the Commanders and the Cowboys here. Another situation where you got probably a lame duck coaching situation. Washington has lost 7 in a row, 12 of their last 14, 3-7 against the spread in their last 10. Sam Howell hasn't necessarily worked out. Didn't know if he ever would here necessarily, but got Dallas. They've clinched a playoff spot, of course, and they are looking for that number 2 seed in the NFC. If you look at the standings right now, that's kind of where they are. So just win and get it done. But trust the Dallas Cowboys, go on the road, win a game by 2 touchdowns. Against a look, Rivera seems to be a guy that the players still like and admire to a certain extent. I think he's gotten a reputation as a honest, good coach. So I think you can see an effort here from Washington in the spoiler role against an obviously Dallas team that probably shouldn't be laying 2 touchdowns in a game that maybe they could coast to victory here. But the Cowboys, look, terrific. 10-14, last 14 games as a road favorite, 3-1 this year, but they're 1-4 against the spread in the last 5 games. And, Dallas is out getting off to slow starts, no doubt about it. Howell they've racked up yardage this year, no doubt. maybe a chance for the defense to take a little bit of a breather here. Cowboys beat up on Washington 45-10 back in week 12. They've won 12 of the last 16. Cowboys 6-3 against the spread. Last 9 trips here into Washington. Under in 3 of the last 4 meetings between these two teams. Washington 2-5-1 against the spread. Their last 8 division games. I don't know if I have time to. Yeah, I don't know. That might not be right. Actually, I wrote that one down and I'm scribbled on it. Might be wrong on that one actually, but let's just be sure that Washington is on this losing streak, certainly right now. And again, I've got them in the spoiler role to cover this spread against Dallas here. Plus 13. I'm interested in the dog here. This is after all, it is cow. I guess, man, it just sucks. You have to Cowboys and Commanders. I mean, you miss the old Redskins a little bit. I don't think there's any problem in saying that to a certain extent. I don't know if I was a man. It just all right. Washington and Dallas. You know what I mean? It's a rivalry. It's still maybe the best rivalry in the NFL. It kind of lost its touch with the name changes. Huh? All right. Anything here? Fernando's on the Cowboys. Commander, maybe. Hey, Commanders on the money line. CD Lamb to go over here. Thomas says cash in, get out, and they get it done in the third quarter. They cruise, and maybe they end up not covering though, right? Thomas says maybe a good spot here as well. Good point here. Cowboys maybe slowed in games like these. Great point, Thomas. Another friend of mine always saying, "Hey, you know what? If it's not in the dictionary, it's not a word." I don't know. The dictionary seems to be behind the times, right? They're the ones always adding the words after people start to use them, and language is really what the human species determines language to be. So, dictionary is not. It's just a guide by a person or Webster, you know what I mean. All right. Great day to be with you guys and telling you my feelings of the world. Here we go. I'm on the Commanders. Let's look at the Rams and the 49ers in this one, because you've got the Rams coming in. Great season, great surge, right? I mean, okay, if you are looking for that one team on the futures board right now to win the Super Bowl, right? I'm not saying the Rams. I've already struck out with a couple of futures with us this season. Okay, I'm sorry. We didn't, get there. Who did we? I don't even remember what some of the plays were, but the Rams are 40-1 right now to win the Super Bowl. They definitely have a pretty good offense. They have some pretty good deep. The Rams are playing well here. Now we're in a situation where we got 2 backup quarterbacks. This game means absolutely nothing other than the fact that it's the Rams and the 49ers. It won't even feel like the rivalry between these two teams. And has it been even a rivalry? Yeah, maybe the Rams resurgence and the 49ers resurgence is picking up steam a little bit. Maybe since they're both in their new stadiums a little bit. But it's not, it's not 1980s Rams and 49ers. But certainly here with the backup quarterbacks in here today, Carson Wentz for the Rams and Sam Darnold for the 49ers. Feels like Darnold's had a little bit more work, obviously. No McCaffrey either. You don't want to get these 49ers wide receivers injured, right? Those guys seem like they're on the verge of getting hurt every time they're hit. As awesome as they are, Ayuk, Debo here, Kittle also, right? Niners, pretty good position. They do have a bye week next week. They're the number 1 seed, as as I said, I'd mention them. here in a moment, but they're the number one seed, so they're in the situation where they don't necessarily uh, need it. But you do have a guy like Darnold here against Wentz. I feel like Darnold has a little bit better feel for getting in there right now. It feels like Wentz is more off the scrap heap than Darnold. uh, Maybe you don't feel that way, but it feels like Darnold was a guy who was kind of picked up in a more active role to be a backup than Wentz. That's how I kind of look about this one. So this game really not meaning too much here in this one, but probably want to take the Niners. I think they might be favored by 4 for a reason. Feels pretty ugly here today. Doesn't feel it's going to be hard to cover 4 points though if this final score is like 17-13, if you know what I mean. So I don't know if it's even worth running through much of the trends because you're getting kind of a mess here. This one definitely, not a great product today, I would assume. Even I've tried to talk up the NFL all show long. Rams beat the 49ers 30-23. It was a push back in week 2. Niners have won 5 in a row in the series. 9 of the last 10 feels like a good spot for the Rams to uh, uh, maybe get one here, but maybe the Niners just own them as well. They're 2-6 against the spread. Last 6 trips here, 6 and under 6 of the last 9 meetings have gone under in this one. So I'm not going to beat around with the stats too much in this one with the backup. So if you got anything, let me know. Rams +4 for Ziggy. And Solo says Wentz versus Darnold over. Maybe these guys should have been in there all season, not over their current starters, but so Corey over. You guys are on a totally seeing a totally different picture of this game than I am. I don't have much hope for Wentz and Darnold in this matchup, but I also do look at it as if 2 playoff teams. We're trying to quantify how teams go about it in the last week of this, right? To me, this is get in and get out. This is the week 4 preseason, or I guess week 3 now, right? Because there's only 3 preseason games. This is the week 3 preseason special, where as some of these games will kind of look like preseason games. Remember, preseason games are pretty much all unders, right? I think some of these and not comparing it to what you guys, because you guys are saying over, like it might be with that. But when I see 2 teams, I'm thinking you run the ball, you get in, you get out. This is what's going to happen in this game today. So okay, but I appreciate you guys. You guys are. It looks like everybody's on the over. Thank you, Poppy. Oh gosh, that feels great. All right. All right, got one here though with the Eagles and the Giants. So Philly, they can still get the number 2 seed if they win, and well, they'll be rooting for the Commanders because they need Dallas to lose. But Philly, a lot. Don't have to tell you guys right now the problems, do I? What's going on with this Philly team? I mean, it probably starts with a lack of confidence at this point. Um, Eagles were 1-5 against the spread their last 2 seasons when coming off of a loss, and right now Philly disaster on the field, disaster on the locker room. It's pretty much all falling apart. They're still 8-5. They're still battling here for the number 2 seed. You can fix it all, but it just feels like it's Philly. So if things aren't perfect, things are a mess. Is what it feels like here. And you have Hurts. Look, they're still going to have everything moving forward, but the defense is having these big time issues right now. Certainly, and you're going up against a Giants team that, well, it's been a bad season for a bad team, no doubt about it. But now they've got Ty God in there, and now you wonder why wasn't Ty God in there from the beginning after Jones went. Now he did step in there a little bit, right? But when we ended up with Cutlets in there, and what is this Giants team doing? All right. Well, still for the Giants, they've kind of brought it back here. Tyrod Taylor's 27, 29, and 1 as a starter in the NFL. He has actually started 4 games for the Giants. He's 1-3 this season. Eagles won 33-25 at home 2 weeks ago. They were laying 13 points, though. Giants got the money in that one. Eagles outgained them 460-300, but had a couple of turnovers, more Eagle problems here. They've won 18 of the last 21 games in this series. Under 6 unders, 3 overs last 9 between these two teams. Giants have gone over in 5 of their last 7. Eagles have gone over in 6 of their last 9 games. I don't think that's going to happen here. I've got the under in this one with the Eagles and the Giants. The Eagles are going to, probably have to rely on the defense a little bit. Not that the Giants are doing anything miraculous offensively, but Taylor has had a little bit of chemistry here with these receivers of late. Maybe they're getting a little bit of protection. Remember, the Giants' offensive line has been really what's been the killer. And, of course, there is a little bit of weather expected as well here. 34 degrees throughout the game, and chance of a little bit of winter action here in this one. But Taylor, Wandale started to show up again for a few. Slayton here as well. So, and it does feel like whatever that situation, AJ Brown, great, but are we really getting enough production from the other guys right now? Julio, look, the one thing about Julio, awesome, right? We'd love to see Julio. What if Julio had this incredible resurgence here late in the season and found himself again all of a sudden? He scored 2 touchdowns last week in a miracle performance that we haven't seen from Julio. I mean, he did have a touchdown earlier this season, but we hadn't seen a game from Julio, like that since, the Dallas game kind of last year. So, he would really need to step up, I would think, in the postseason from what we're seeing right now with this Eagle club, because we're not really seeing much from Watkins or from Olamide Zaccheaus, right? So big problems for the Eagles. Maybe they can fix them here. It feels like it's going to be tough enough just to win this game today. I'll take the under, though. All right. Let's see here. Eagles for Ziggy. Eagles to roll here. Giants money line for Solo. Airplane Boop says under. And Elijah is looking for some player props from the is this from the crew in the chat, maybe? To post some player props. I'd love to do more. I'm gonna, in the postseason, I might be touting some player props, if you will, if you're on my package. We're one of the few sites that sell player props, player prop picks, if you will. That's what we do. Ziggy says he likes Tyrod, but obviously Ziggy, it's not like he's going to show up and then everybody's like, wow, we had Ty God the whole time and we didn't even realize what we had. Maybe they could, but if Ty God wasn't playing somewhere, right, you got to feel like, but, he's got some, like I said, almost a 500 quarterback in his career. It's hard to do, man. You'd think you'd think 500, but so many of the dominant quarterbacks and dominant teams win, and the mediocre teams end up going through so many quarterbacks. It's tough to even find quarterbacks above 500 in their career unless they are in a very, very, very strong program. Sakori going over Slayton. Here comes some of those player props. Appreciate you. All right. And Crumb said, we already went through the Lions game, Crumb. Hopefully you saw it. Nice to see you again today, sir. Thank you for coming by again. I'll tell you right now what we had in that game, since I think, was that the game we have the over in the Vikings and the Lions. I have the over in the Vikings and the Lions. It was just a couple of minutes ago if you want to scroll back. All right, got a good one here with the Bears and the Packers. I'm not kidding, right now, right? With the Bears and the Packers, congratulations to the Chicago Bears. I know they got eliminated, but what what an impressive job, honestly, by the Bears to come into this game with a 7-9 record after what's gone on. Give their front office credit, give Fields credit, give the wide receivers credit, the running game credit, the defense credit. The Chicago Bears have been pretty darn terrific here, and they're in a great spot to play spoiler against their awesome rival here, the Green Bay Packers. And Packers are in a tough predicament. It's win and you're in, and you've got to play the hottest team that's not going to the playoffs to try to get in. So this is a great matchup. Feels like almost the marquee. Yeah, maybe you could argue there's some better games in the window. Maybe you could with the Bears and the Packers here. Feels like the Bears are going to really give the Packers a hard time with that defense, man. They've been really, really good. Chicago's won and covered 5 of their last 7 games. They've all been close games. It feels like for the most part, the Bears are 9-4 against the spread in their last 13 games. Fields, look, what are you going to say? I mean, right, 10-27 as a starter. You talk about these quarterbacks, right? But you'd take Fields tomorrow if you could, if you were like, oh, we don't have a quarterback and this guy's available to us and we're not going to be able to draft or you'd take Fields. You would. And, you know, can't help look. I mean, Stroud is better long term. You can look at him, but you talk about the failures of the OSU quarterbacks. Um, yeah, I don't know. This is a pretty good guy you'd want in there, I would think. Quarterbacks are hard to come by. I'm not saying he's the be all end all and, going to be the best guy, but there are like, probably 6 million age eligible men in this country with some athletic skill that maybe could say, hey, let's put everything aside in our lives and try to be an NFL quarterback. Right? Maybe men, talk about men between the ages of 23 and 28 or so. And there are like 10 people on the planet that can do this job right. So it's hard to find a quarterback, but the Packers also think they have one in Jordan Love. And well, I've been on the Jordan Love train most of the season. I think it's been obvious here on the show. So I feel pretty good about where he is, but they just got to win this game, man. Green Bay 5-2 straight up, 4-3 against the spread in their last 7. Can they win? Yes. Is it going to be close? Probably. Is it going to come down to the wire? I would happen to think so. Total here 45. You've got Fields, you've got Love, but man, this is an important game, and the Bears have one of the best defenses in the league of late. This one's going under, man, for sure, I would think. I don't know, maybe there could be some explosiveness late. Maybe it's a close game. Maybe someone needs that last score. Maybe it gets over. 5 of the last 7 meetings have gone over. Packers have won 9 straight in the series, 8-1 against the spread against the Bears in those 9 games. It's been an absolute domination. We know the guy who owns the Bears plays for the Jets, but the domination kind of continues. It was 38-20. Packers won in Chicago in the season opener to kind of set the tone. Right, what we saw with Love, and then remember he had another good performance, and then kind of fell out of favor. In the middle of the season, we were ready to move on from Love and say, well, what are we going to do next year? Well, next year we're going with Jordan Love at this point, and in the postseason we're going with Jordan Love. If the Packers can win, all they got to do is win. They don't got to win by 3, by 4. They just got to win. This one feels like it's going to be close down to the wire game, man. I think the Bears can compete in this one. Moore is on fire right now, and who's going to stop Moore on the Packers? Also, don't forget, Packers do have I would call them injury concerns, certainly, on the offense. They're not, out necessarily. Not all the key players are out, but certainly banged up. Jaden Reed is questionable, and Dontavian Weeks questionable, Christian Watson questionable. These are all their receivers, pretty much. So Alexander will be in there after that suspension. So, all right, did you guys get it going on this one? In the chat, do I have the storyline right?
Final.
Here in this one. All right, Ziggy's on the Packers. Poppy says they've been playing good. And Bears always have the rough time. Oh, no doubt about it. Remember, Aaron Rodgers beat him every time, pretty much. Yeah, no doubt, doubles, no doubt. But, right, the Bears have the up arrow. There's no doubt. It's been a good situation. They did a good job trading for those defenders here. Yep. Okay. Double says go over. He thinks the Bears will be able to match them, maybe in points. I would think the Packers would be, in a better situation to try to do it with Jones here necessarily. I don't like the passing game really at all for these guys, especially if these guys are all banged up. But what's Cole Kmet's status? He was always okay. He's going to be questionable. He didn't practice on Wednesday, limited on Thursday, full practice on Friday. So looks good for Kmet. Actually, that's good. Doubles. All right. Thank you guys for your comments on this. We got to keep it rolling here with this big card. Yeah, Thomas. No, I'm just saying these players are still listed as questionable. Watson didn't practice on Friday. He's questionable certainly here, but he was given the day off after two good practices on Wednesday and Thursday. So he is on the right side of his questionable tag here, but still listed as kind of a game time decision. With it being a 1 o'clock game, we'll have to wait and see, I would think. But let me see. Reed also. Also, did I mention him? Jalen Reed also questionable. Did I mention him in that list? Okay, but we got to move on. Hey, RVD420, nice to have you here today. First time commenter showing it looks like a championship ring possibly there. Maybe I can blow that up. I'm really interested in that. Okay, I didn't see it that good. I got to keep going here. Peter Mack bringing us some more props. Thank you, thank you. All right, keep it going here. Got to keep this card going. And we're getting through it with the Seahawks taking on the Cardinals here on the road. The Seahawks make the playoffs if they win and Packers lose. So we'll see. Seahawks just 2-4 straight up in their last 6 games. And those 2 wins, they got them in the last possible second to win. So Seahawks here come in as a favorite against the Cardinals in an AFC West game. No doubt that NFC West game, no doubt. They have the Cardinals here. They terrible season, but they still have Kyler, and he gets things done a little bit. These Cardinals are kind of weird, right? They're kind of tough. Seattle's won 9 of the last 12. Seahawks won 20-12 back in week 7 as an 8-point favorite. Cardinals feel a little bit improved off of that. They're still 5-8 against the spread in their last 13 games, but 4-3 against the spread as a home dog with some quarterbacks worse than Kyler Murray certainly in there. The Cardinals have been kind of hot, 50% third down conversions last 4 games. So Arizona's gone over in 4 of their last 5, but 6 of the last 9 meetings have gone under, and 3 of the last 4 Seattle games have stayed under. I think you see Geno, you see the great passing the guys on Seattle talking about those receivers. Look, they're probably good to go today. Seattle actually pretty decent, I think, for my tastes in the secondary, but still Murray kind of guides you a little bit. If they can run at all, I mean Connor, um, who knows what his future holds, but you could get a lot of Connor today here for the Cards. The one thing about the Seahawks that is impressive if they could just get in right are those not only maybe where is Lockett here to a certain extent on some of these games. Last week, just 5 targets and 1 reception. Now he does have a toe injury, so we'll cut him a little bit of slack. But really, 3 of the last 4, not much. But in Smith and Jigba has really developed into a spectacular player and gives them another great option. So they could be dangerous if they get in to the playoffs. So but for me here in this one with the Seahawks and the Cardinals, I'm going to take the Cards here to stay in this one. I expect a crazy finish, something, typical Cardinal finish here. Probably blow it in the end. Maybe the Seahawks end up getting the win, but that total at 47, I get it with Geno and these receivers, but I have a feeling it's going to be pretty hard to get to that number. In fact, it's down 48 at circa. I'll call it 47 and we'll go under here in this one. I want to say hello to Byron Robertson in the chat today. Thank you for stopping by. Ziggy's on the Seahawks here. And Thomas is on the Cards. We're calling them the St. Louis Cardinals. I love that. And Thomas maybe going over here. No, he says never mind. I'll cancel that. Chad's ready, trying to get to the basketball. All right, here we go. Broncos and Raiders here in this one. And, look, got 2 teams certainly playing out the string here as eliminated teams. We won't spend much time on this one. In fact, maybe I could just give out the play right now and then move on. I like the over here in this one with Stidham for the Broncos and Aiden O'Connell for the Raiders. Look, if you're going to continue to try to develop Aiden O'Connell, I don't have a problem with that. Probably not going to get very far with him, but there are worse projects out there, I would think, than Aiden O'Connell. For Jarrett Stidham, he definitely can throw with the best of them. Maybe not very accurately, but he's going to get a chance here to work with Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy. It's been a disappointing season, I would think, for Jeudy. Probably, tough for him to finish with a strong performance here in this one, but I think he'll get the targets and maybe he can find the end zone tonight here. I think this one does end up going over in this division game, mostly because first meeting was 17-16. Raiders won that one. That was the season opener. They were 3.5-point dogs in that one. Then we saw what happened to the Broncos, but they've kind of turned it around here, certainly of late. Raiders 6-1-1 against the spread in their last 8 games, but can't really trust them, I would think, to cover anything here. Last 3 games, the Raiders have scored 4 defensive touchdowns. Their offense hasn't done anything. I'm not making fun of O'Connell. I think they could continue to develop him, but the offense right now is not doing anything. Despite their success in changing to Pierce as coach. Again, they might get swayed by this little run here. Raiders have gone under in 11 of their last 16. Broncos have gone under in 8 of their last 11. I just don't see that game following that type of form here in this one. I think Devontae is looking for targets here in this one. I've got it over we won't spend too much time on this one. All right, you guys. Ray's on the Raiders, and Ziggy's on the Broncos here. Thomas is on the Raiders. All right. And Peter is on the Vegas money line. Thomas, all right. All right. All right, what to do here with my Chargers against the Chiefs? Well, at least the Chiefs are sitting all their players. They figure they're locked into their position as a AFC West champions here. Good congratulations to the Chiefs, blah blah blah. Anyways, for the Chargers, they'll have Easton Stick in there once again, but the Chiefs will go with Blaine Gabbert. Not a bad option, certainly, for the Chiefs. A decent backup here. They probably can run pretty easily against the Chargers. Figure this will be a big game for Austin Eckler. He always shows up when when you don't need a big performance. Chargers have gone 8-1 to the under last 13 games. Strong under here for the Chiefs. I should say the Chiefs, I believe, have gone under 3-8-1 in their last 13 games. Chiefs are 8-13 against the spread in their last 21 games, coming off a win, including 4-4 this season. The Chiefs are 11-4 in their last 15 games as an underdog. They haven't been an underdog though in over a year, so probably just kind of throw out the trends in this one. Chiefs are 8-2 against the spread in their last 10 games in the series. I think that one kind of relates, however, in this matchup. Chargers lost 31-17 at Arrowhead back in week 7. Chiefs had over 400 yards passing in that one, and they really need to try to get these receivers on track. And I'm not just talking about MVS and Watson necessarily. The Chiefs think they can move forward, right, and say, oh, if these guys, I always say, oh, if they could just hold on to the ball. But between guys like Justin Watson and MVS and Ross and Hardman and James, that's not a wide receiver core group, right? I think that's what we're seeing possibly with the Chiefs. You think that Mahomes can make guys into receivers. Some quarterbacks can. These guys just might not have that next level up. It does help when you got a guy like Travis Kelce, but you won't have him today. I think that, also factors into where the Chiefs stand here and the Chargers being favored. I would imagine this will be an okay spot for the Chargers, but I'm going to take the over in this one. So Kelce's actually been upgraded to probable. I don't know what they'd be doing, with a guy who is injury prone, or not necessarily injury, but you don't want him out there. You don't want him out there. Is what it feels like to me. So I'm going to go over, though, in this one with Gabbert for sure. I think they will take to the air. I think the Chiefs will be out there competing. That's the way Reed runs it. I think it will be fine. And Chargers will be doing their thing as well. I don't think this is a get in, get out. It might be for the Chiefs, but the Chargers are going to let that happen. This is a game they'll probably be very, very live in. So, yeah, I haven't checked with it being a road game. I'd imagine I'd like to go to that stadium and check it out if I were Swift, but okay. Anyways, give me the over. Won't talk too much about that one. Let's get to the night game. Chad's making me go fast. We got to go fast, really, though, with all these games here. So let's take a look at the night game with the Bills and the Dolphins. This was a big one, moved to the season finale because the Bills are in a little bit of a precarious situation. Somehow they find themselves battling for this final playoff spot. They could still get in if they lose here, just depending on what happens earlier in the day. They won't know until the end of it, but a win would assure, not knowing what's going to happen, a win will assure their playoff position here. The Dolphins are, of course, already in, but for the Dolphins. They've won 5 of their last 7 games straight up, but they can't beat winning teams. That's what everybody keeps harping on. They have 1 win against a winning team so far this season, and the favorites always win the games that the Dolphins are in. The favorites are 13-2 in the last 15 Miami Dolphins games. So the winner of this game gets the division championship. Buffalo has won 9 of the last 10 meetings in this series. However, they are just 5-4-1 against the spread the last 10 years in Miami. For the Dolphins, they are 3-0 against the spread when coming in off of a loss. Bills obviously have gained favoritism here. They're up to 3 in a lot of spots right now. So, what do you guys have in this one? I'm going to reserve here and let you guys make the call on yours, and then I'll tell you. With this one being the late game, I want to hear from you guys. Not much. Not much here. Looks like Thomas says take the Bills. Dolphins without Waddle. That's no bueno. Hello to Biggie here today. Doubles says give him the Bills on the money line. And let's see what else we got here. Ziggy, Dolphins and under. Bills money line for Thomas, but Byron is on the Fins. All right. All right. Well, I've got the. Let's see. Oh, where is my? I want to make sure I don't want to give out the. I didn't want to give out the premium. I don't want to give out the premium here at the last minute. So the Bills have owned the Dolphins. I will take the Bills here tonight against these Dolphins. Look, I like the Dolphins. Just feels like the Bills a little bit more a sense of urgency here in this game. That they must win basically here. Remember, Dolphins are in no matter what. Yeah, you wanted to win the division. Maybe you're not as good as the Bills. Maybe you're not as good as any team that is a winning team. Is what it feels like. A lot of talking heads, I think, are going to be on the Bills. I think I'm not alone here. It feels like. All right. That's a look at the NFL. We only spent an hour and a half on it. So thanks a lot. Enjoy the games, everybody, today. And we'll catch you with the playoffs next week. All right. All right, let's get to our NBA action now for tonight. It's a pretty big card for an NFL Sunday. Maybe the schedule makers didn't know we were playing 17 weeks. NBA feels ready to go here on a Sunday afternoon, including a couple of early starts. And let's get rolling with it. We won't spend as much time here, though, I must say, on the NFL. Hello to Dre and Matt joining us. All right, we'll get the conversation rolling here with the Spurs up against the Cavaliers in a pretty hot matchup here. With Spurs having, had a few moments here of late. Let's give them a little bit of credit. They had some fun, certainly, in their game with Milwaukee. That was cool. With Wembanyama hitting that three-pointer late. They still lost the game, but the matchups of the two centers or whatever position those guys are playing in. Cleveland has won 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams. 7 of the last 8 meetings between these two have gone over, but the Spurs have gone under in 4 of their last 5 games. Still, for me, the Spurs probably not going to be playing enough defense even against a team like the Cavs. It feels like. I feel like with a total here that's already dropped considerably, maybe makes me want to consider the injury report here. It's down to 231.5. Who is on the injury report? For the Spurs, looks like Zach Collins still is out. Sohan probable. These guys are all probable. For the Cavaliers, it's still Evan Mobley, Darius Garland. These guys have been out a couple of weeks now, so I don't really see any new names on the list here. I'm getting a bargain here. If they want to keep dropping this total, okay, maybe the Sharps are on the under. I feel you. I feel you, Sharps. I don't think I can be on the under in this game. I'm going over with the Spurs and the Cavs. I think they've got it wrong. I think they have the wrong scenario with these two teams. We'll see. We'll see. I know the steam has been rolling in on the under. I get it. I think it's. Let me see. It might be even. Dre's on the Cavs. Ziggy's on the Cavs. Ray's on the Cavs. Steam came in at 235.5. It's all the way down to 231. All right. I don't know if I want the Cavs laying these points, but you guys do. Thomas says, you know what? Just give me the Cavs on the money line. I'll lay the minus 535 here. All right. Here's the thing, right? If someone's going to take a plus 400 dog, you probably should have a minus 500 favorite in your arsenal. Otherwise, you shouldn't be playing $4 dogs. Well, I don't know if that's right. All right, give me the over in that one. Trailblazers and Nets here in this one. We've got the Blazers, an underdog here. The Nets are favored up to 8.5 now, and the total has risen here to 226 on some widely reported steam to the over. And unlike the last game, I kind of feel like this one will go over with these two teams. 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have gone under, but for me in this one, I think Portland, they've always played pretty well against the Nets. Now, maybe the transition of teams, you could throw that out a little bit. They have won 6 of the last 8 meetings between these two, but Brooklyn 12-5-1 against the spread at home. The spread continues to climb here a little bit at 8.5. I'm just going to go over in this one as my play. I'm probably leaning the Nets, but they haven't been covering spreads here of late, despite that strong home record. Now, they just won and covered at home against OKC to snap that losing streak. So maybe we're getting back to what we have seen from the Nets so far this season. They were one of the stronger covers, but this recent streak of 2-8 against the spread has knocked them back down. The Blazers come in here with a 3-game losing streak, including back-to-back losses at Dallas, where they failed to cover the spread. They've lost and failed to cover in each of their last 3 games. Trailblazers as an underdog this season, 14-16 against the spread. So not much necessarily to go on with that one. What do we got here? Anything from you guys? Here's Ziggy on the Nets. And here is Ray on the Nets. Thomas says, give me the Nets and the over. I think I'm leaning to the Nets. If you guys like the Nets, I'm on the Nets. I'm going to do a double play. You guys like the Nets? I'll go ahead and lay the points here with the Nets. We're laying 8.5 now, more than 7.5. But you guys, I liked them, and I'm like, I'm only going to pick one play on the show. The spread's gone up 7.5, 8.5. I'll go with the over. But if you guys like the Nets at 8.5, I still like the Nets at 8.5. That's good enough for me. Let's do it. Hawks and Magic in this one. And, well, you got the old Hawks favorite on the road here again because, why not? They're the Hawks after all, and they're great. Oh, man, the Hawks are just the greatest thing since sliced bread. The Hawks haven't made anybody any money all season long. The Sharps just keep betting them here like they're going to turn around and bring back all their money. They just got blown out by the Pacers by 34 points, and now they're playing a good Magic team that actually plays some defense. How are you going to expect the Hawks to win this game? Now, Magic do have all those injuries still here, but some of these guys missed the last game too. Jonathan Isaac is out. Joe Ingles is out. Gary Harris is out. Franz Wagner is out as well. So they are missing players, and I'm sure that that's part of it here, but they were missing a few players in the last game and still got it done. Now they do have even some other guys. Fultz is questionable. Wendell Carter is questionable. Anthony Black is questionable. Atlanta's won 5 of the last 6 games in between these two teams. 6 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams in Orlando have gone over. 6 of the last 7 meetings here over, and 5 of the last 6 meetings overall have gone over in this one. I'm taking the Magic, even with a little bit of a ragtag lineup here in this one. I just not going to trust Atlanta on the road, even with a healthier lineup at this point. Atlanta's 8-26 against the spread this season. Orlando is 24-11 against the spread so far this season. So you got one team, basically 70% against the spread, and you got another team just over 20% against the spread. And everyone is loading up apparently on Atlanta because of the lineup situation here is what it feels like for Orlando. But I don't know whoever's going to be. We know Banchero will still be in there, right? And you figure Okeke, he'll be able to do something here. Maybe he'll have as one of his best games. He's going up against Sadiq Bey. I don't care about that. I mean, I'll take Okeke to get something done. Suggs will be fine as well. We'll find out who can play and who can't. I mean, Atlanta will still, I would think be able to guard these guys a little. Maybe not DeJounte, maybe not Johnson, but I'm going to take Orlando here. Forget about it. Just give me the team with a massive better spread record and not worry about the personnel, I would think. In this one, Magic, too many injuries for Ray. And Thomas says he'll take the home team. Dre is on the Hawks here. All right. Pelicans and Kings in this one. And the Kings are going to be favored here at home tonight. We're starting to get to the evening card here. The first 2 games are kind of matinees here. The Kings at home, they're favored in this one by 3, and the total 234.5. In fact, I'm showing it now up to 236 here for the most part in this one. Not very steamy, but still looks like the total's been going up. All right, Pelicans and Kings. Pelicans have won 5 straight on the road. The Kings have won 4 of their last 5 games. So matchup of teams playing pretty well here right now. 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone under. The Pelicans are coming off that blowout loss to the Clippers that snapped their winning streak. For the Kings, they've won 2 straight, beating Orlando, beating Toronto. So nice job here. Sacramento's kind of getting back to their winning ways a bit. And they are, of course, 13-6 straight up at home this season. New Orleans 9-7 straight up on the road. See what you guys have in this one. I'm pretty sure that I'm just going to play the total under anyways. So here's Dre on the Pelicans. Ray says give me Pelicans first half and over 234. Z's going over in this one. So you guys are on the over. I'm on the under here. Feels like to me you guys are going over, but I want the under here. Like I said, 4 last 5 meetings under. And look, Kings go over at home, no doubt. 13-6 to the over. But I'm going to take under in this one. At 234. Now, I'm getting 236. You guys could take that 234 and a half on the show here. But by the time you get to the window, you're going to be looking at 235 and a half in a lot of spots right now. All right. Timberwolves and Mavericks in this one, and you have the Timberwolves on the road here, minus 2.5, and the total's gone up here to 231.5. I believe this one did get steamed higher in this one. And yeah, they steamed it at 229.5. So, hey, maybe a little bit of bargain for me. I'm thinking about going under in this one with Minnesota and Dallas. How about you guys here with this matchup? The way I look at it, you got a Dallas team that has lost 17 of the last 23 meetings against Minnesota, and Minnesota continues to, play pretty well. Now, they actually, to a certain extent, have been overrated. They're just 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 games. They had failed a bunch in a row until that last blowout win of the Rockets here of late. So they've had some wins, but they didn't cover in all those games. Maybe this one's a more manageable number against Dallas here. Dallas is 4-1 though against the spread in their last 5 games. They're also 5-2 straight up their last 7 meetings here against Minnesota in Dallas. But Minnesota's won 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams. So maybe a little bit of a back and forth with these two, but for me, I'm going to end up on the under here. Dallas has been putting up a few more unders of late. Look, they're an over team this season, but they seem to have calmed it down here a little bit. They went under in 2 of their last 3 games, including the blowout win over Portland and then the big loss to Utah. But at 231.5 now, I got them right where I want them. I think. I do want to take a look. Yeah, I'm on the under. I'm on the under unquestionably here. I feel like I'm going to be on a lot of contrarian totals today. For you guys, there's Timberwolves for Ziggy. Thomas Lewis is on the Wolves. Dre's on the over. I'm not sure I'll find anyone agreeing with some of these totals with me today. Here's Ray on the Wolves. All right. Grizzlies and Suns in this one. And we have the Suns favored in this one by 4. And the total here, 228. So for the Suns, they earn favoritism here, playing a little bit better, no doubt, of late against a Memphis team that has struggled after that hot start, but maybe they're just starting to get it back a little bit. Maybe they came out pretty hot there. Still, for me, you got Phoenix. They've won 5 of their last 6 games, including 4 of their last 5 currently at home. They're still a very, very poor team against the spread this season, 7-14 ATS at home. Memphis just 14-21 against the spread overall, but on the road they are 10-9, so they've done their better spread work on the road. Certainly, total has gone over in 4 of Memphis's last 5 road games, but they've gone under in 4 of their last 5 games overall. In general, Memphis has been an under team this season. They've gone under in 21 of their 35 games, while Phoenix is 13-8 to the over at home. So a little bit of back and forth here. I don't know if the trends are going to make sense necessarily in this matchup. Maybe you got to look more to the to the matchups itself. I think here with Memphis and Phoenix. Certainly, there is a little bit of status here for Ja. If I'm not mistaken, he's got a shoulder injury, so he is listed as questionable in this one. But he took 1 game off since returning from his suspension, so we will see on that. But does leave some cause for concern here, and you also have a couple other names here on the injury list. But Ja is of most significance. KD certainly is questionable with a hamstring injury. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and lay the points with Phoenix here, and I will take over, actually. Let me get one more double play here. We're going to be getting into the night game of the NFL, and we'll see what we do with the NFL today. Probably uh, mostly premiums in the NFL. The NBA may take a back seat. Let me go ahead and give out. I like the Suns here, and so do you guys. It looks like apparently we do have Ziggy on the Grizz. We've got Peter Mack on the Suns, Dre on the Suns, Ray on the Suns. Thomas Bird says he will go over, and so will I. All right, nothing from Chad yet, huh? On any of these games, no challenges here. Must be agreeing with me. All right, so we've been on the same page of late, it sounds like. Okay, next up here, the Detroit Pistons are going to take on the Denver Nuggets in a rematch of the highest scoring game in NBA history. But we won't necessarily get that today. But we do have a high total here of 236.5 and a big spread 16.5. What you gonna do with a big spread like this tonight? I think I know what I'm doing, but I want to hear from you guys, and we'll just take a look here at some of the trends coming in. I don't know if we can equate them too much with such a large spread, but Denver has owned the series, certainly winning 7 of the last 8 games and 12 of the last 14 games here in Denver against the Pistons. Detroit has gone over in 6 of their last 7 games and over in 6 of their last 7 games on the road. To me, that looks like where the push is currently right now, right? 230, because I want to go under in this game, and I may just end up doing that here to a certain extent. Also, maybe interested in the points. Ugly game for me. I don't know. All right. What do we got here? Chad left. Oh, okay. Probably just couldn't wait. Probably something to do or something. All right. Here's the Piston. He said he was waiting patiently. I don't know. Pistons here plus 16.5 for Ray. Ziggy's on the under here, and Dre is on the under as well. All right. Well, if you guys are on the under, I like the under as well. So give me the under here in this one. I was going to come on and take the Pistons and figure, because what's going to happen, I would think, in this game, you guys, is that Thomas Bird, look at that. Very interesting, because I was just about to say this. Give me the Nuggets and Joker under. So the Nuggets are probably going to get out and play a pretty decent game, probably get out to maybe even a big lead, maybe even covering the spread. And then I'm sure the Pistons will come back in the second half and cover the spread. It'd probably be in the last 5 minutes of the game, quite frankly. That's what I feel like will happen. The Nuggets will get up here. It'll be a low score doldrums game. They'll lead the game late. It'll be like 185, and the final score will finish like 110 to 100 or something like that. And they'll win the game comfortably, and the Pistons will make a bunch of baskets. That always happens in the Nuggets games, especially against the bad teams, right? Ray's probably seen it a million. You in here, Matt? Denver crew in here? Final. So Pistons will probably get the money in the end. Probably like a premium, that you're supposed to do, and like, who wants to take it? All right, here comes the Raptors and the Warriors. We're almost done with these games. I did look at 3 college games. We'll try to get through this whole thing. Then I got to go because I'm making an appearance on another show. Hopefully you check me out over there. But I'm going to be up there making some NFL picks, and they'll be different from what you had heard here. And I'm on, I think they invited me for the last week because I'm on the leaderboard over there. Okay, Toronto and Golden State in this one. You got Golden State here favored currently by 2, and the total 237.5 in this one, with Toronto on the road. Here playing pretty decent ball now here all of a sudden of late. Ever since that trade, it's kind of worked out for Toronto. Now they did just lose, at Sacramento. 135-130 is a 4.5-point dog. They almost got the money. They beat Memphis on the road. They beat Cleveland, so they've won 2 out of their last 3. Golden State's coming off a win over Detroit, 113-109. They won by 4 as a 10.5-point favorite. To show you the kind of ball that Detroit's kind of playing against these decent teams. The big news here is that Draymond Green is expected to be activated soon. Whether or not it will be for this game. In fact, we're seeing some movement on the total here now, down to 237, 236.5 here for Circa. So there is a pretty swift move here to the under occurring right now. Look, the under probably looks like a pretty decent spot here for me in this one today. In fact, I think that's what I'm going to end up taking here in this game is a look at the under. I want to give Toronto a long look, but I'm just not sure. But it is down to 2 for the most part. If I'm going to take the under, I better update it here to at least 236.5. It's probably going lower, it feels like. I'll take the under in the Raptors and the Warriors. Ray says Warriors at home. Ray will be on another show with I don't know if I could say it here on, but Jimmy the Bag. Maybe you could check him out on YouTube. Another popular channel. Someone in the chat might be able to type it in as well. I'm here to promote Tony's Picks, and I do so on that show, certainly. I'm introduced as a man representing Tony'sPicks.com. So we do our best to get out there and spread the word about our great handicappers. At least I do, everybody. Here. So here's the Warriors for Dre, Raptors plus 2.5. I want to do more on this channel too, but we'll see. Here's Salty. Maybe we'll get Chad. We'll get Ron. I know those guys will do some on-air stuff with me, maybe. I don't know about the rest of the crew. All right, here. Let's see. Thomas says, give me the points in the Raptors. Raptors defense keeps it close. Feels like they are kind of bumping it back up a little bit here. The Raptors moving forward. Let's take the under with the Raps and the Warriors and go one more game tonight. And it's certainly of interest here. And you can watch it probably at the end of the football game and get to the end of this one. Although it'll be pretty close. I'd probably get the fourth quarter, second half of the fourth quarter or so with, where's it at? Where's our banner? Clippers and Lakers here in this one. The Clippers are favored by 5.5 against the Lakers, and all their problems that they have all of a sudden when things aren't winning. LeBron says they suck right now, and maybe they just took their ball and went home after the in-season tournament championship, the NBA Cup, if you will. I would think the Clippers are going to roll the Lakers tonight. The Clippers are on a winning streak. The Lakers are on a losing streak. They play in the same arena. Soon the Clippers will be moving to their own arena, which is going to be probably better than the Lakers arena. You got Ballmer building an arena. It's probably pretty good. They already have their practice facility coming as well, man. The Clippers are stepping out and stepping all over the Lakers here tonight. They're going to crush the Lakers. Come on. This should be a premium pick. What am I doing giving it out here on the show? Clippers are going to smash these Lakers, aren't they? Clippers have won 5 straight games. Clippers have won 12 of the last 13 meetings when they are designated as the road team. I'm not, they play, like I said, they play in the same building. The floor is different. The lighting's different. Even the crowd, there are Lakers season ticket holders. There are Clippers season ticket holders, if you will. But there's also a little bit of mentality, like this is a Lakers building type of. That's why the Clippers are getting their own building. They got, one of the richest owners, if not the richest owner in the NBA. And they'll be moving on from this situation from the crypto arena, but tonight feels pretty good for the Clippers. Lakers won the last meeting 130-125, the only meeting this year between the two teams. Lakers have gone over in 7 of their last 9, although they've gone under in 10 of their last 13 at home. And this is kind of at home. So, what do we got here? Anything on the Lakers under for Ziggy? And Thomas making fun of the Lakers. Yeah, I mean, you know, we do doubles. We're going to do some college ball right now and a few NHL. Let's get a move on. We got to finish this show so I can get ready for that other appearance. But this is our show. This is our main duty right here. Let's take a look at this one. No Chad challenge, huh? What happened? Well, some people have a time schedule and everything. I get it. All right. I'll just look at the first game of the docket between Michigan and Penn State, since this one kind of gets underway before the main card. This one's at the top of the hour, actually, here with Michigan. This one's actually being played in Philadelphia. So Penn State, maybe they are kind of a home team here in this one. But this one being played in the I believe in the big arena, right? I'm kind of looking it up to make sure here. So it feels like kind of a returning to Philadelphia. I want to see the site of the game, you guys. Is it the big arena in Philly? We're a little bit on the fly here on this one. I mean, I did handicap the game, but okay, it is at the Palestra. Okay, great. So just want to make sure it's not at the big arena. It is at the Palestra. This is really the Phil Martelli game. That's why I was checking it out. Phil Martelli is going to come back here with Michigan, the great assistant coach. He probably should be the head coach of the team. Maybe Phil's, enjoying his role with Coach Howard. But man, you'd think Coach Martelli could kind of get Coach Howard under control here a little bit. But again, really, it's Penn State treating this as the home game is what it is supposed to be. I mean, they want to come to the Palestra in Philly, but again, Penn State has Jimmy Martelli on their staff, so that just makes it so interesting and just a neat game here in this one. So they'll have family at the game. It's already kind of a storyline between these two. I just wasn't sure if that was the one. Of course, it made sense to me. I just needed to look. So, okay, great. Oh, no problem. Oh, okay. I missed that. I'm sorry if anybody got upset on that. Okay. Well, again, we can't, they tell me not to take anything. I don't take anything personally, but all right, here, no problem. And just try to keep the chat, up to standard here. We're on Tony's channel. We want to have a good, respectful chat. Okay. Fitz Michigan here at versus Penn State at the Palestra. Michigan is won 16 of the last 20 meetings between these two here. And for Penn State, they've covered the spread in 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two, including 4 of the last 6 games at home. Look, I'm still calling it kind of a home game, and I don't think people are coming out there to root for, Michigan wants this situation too a little bit, but again, this is kind of Penn State to go down to Philly and play here. Remember, it was Martelli, the assistant coach with Michigan, was with St. Joe's Hawks forever as their head coach. So, all right, Michigan's gone over in 4 of their last 5 games on the road. You guys got anything in this one? Just an interesting 1 hour show, 1 hour of you can watch for sure, dedicated to this one before the NFL maybe kicks off, is what I was thinking here. But I'm going to go over actually in this one as my pick at 150. I think it's higher than this actually now. No, 154 for the most part, and I'd like this one to go over with Michigan and Penn State today. On the side, uh, I like Michigan to win. I don't know if they can cover 5. It's going to be close. They could win by 3, 3, 4, or 5, I would think. All right. Penn State first half for futon bets. Cool. All right. Another one here. All Big Ten today is what we're gonna kind of skip into the middle of the NFL late window here because this one will kind of end right when when the NFL games are kind of ending and lead into that night game. So I'm just trying to set you up for some entertaining viewership here today as far as the previews. Maryland at Minnesota here in this one. You got the Terps on the road in a tough toss-up game, certainly with Minnesota here, but it's Maryland that have won the last 5 meetings and covered the spread against Minnesota. They've also the Gophers have won 5 straight games and covered the spread in 5 straight games at home. Won and covered the last 5 games at home have the Minnesota Golden Gophers, but Maryland has owned this series. I would think this is still a Maryland series, no matter what Minnesota is currently doing at home. I'm going to want Maryland in this game. I'm going to take them here to win the game outright or +1. I think it's actually up to 1.5 right now. Total is at 135.5. Maryland's been crummy against the spread. I'm just relying on them to beat an opponent that they continually have beaten up here over the last few years. Last year, they won all 3 meetings 81-46, 88-70, and 70-54. All covers, like I said. So, but just a caution: Maryland 4-10 against the spread this season. Minnesota, best spread team in the country at 13-1, 11-0 against the spread so far at home. Maryland just 1-3 against the spread on the road. But I'm just looking for this one to be, Maryland owning Minnesota, being the better team than Minnesota. I'm taking Maryland, but certainly interesting to note. Minnesota, great numbers. They're actually better against. They're 13-1 against the spread. They're 11-3 straight up. They are 10-1 straight up at home, and Maryland has lost 2 of their 3 natural road games this season. All right. And the late game here is with Michigan State taking on Northwestern in the late Big Ten game. This one will probably end close to halftime of the late football game. So maybe you can check out a fantastic finish here between Michigan State and Northwestern. I've got to think this one goes over the total here in this one at over 133.5. See the sharps kind of on Michigan State right now. I mean, they've owned this series. They've won 13 of the last 15 games here in Evanston. They've also won 13 of the last 16 meetings between the two overall. That gives basically, if you know what I mean, Northwestern a home win. One home win basically against Michigan. I guess let me see if I have it here on the series history. I don't know if I have all the games going back. Northwestern's won 9 of their last 11 games right now at home. They're 7-1 at home so far this season. This is just Michigan State's second true road game. Northwestern is let me see if they have the win here at home. When was it? It was December 20th of 2020. That was 79-65. Northwestern won at home. Northwestern's won the last 2 meetings at Sparty, 70-63 back in December of last season, and that was the last. They also won the meeting before that, but they only played once last season. It was at MSU, and Northwestern won 70-63 as a 6-point dog. I'll go over here. Northwestern's gone over in 4 of their last 5 games at home, including the 96-66 loss to Illinois. Or no, that was on the road. I'm sorry. They went over against Jackson State with a 74-63 win. Oh no, that was their one under. Okay, still 4 of their last 5 games at home. The last one would have been actually a loss for Northwestern against Chicago State. Remember that 75-73 loss as a 24.5-point favorite. Give me the over tonight. All right. So look at college basketball. I've got just 4 games on tap in the NHL, and then we got to go. Thank you so much for joining me here, everybody, on a busy Sunday. Still got 50 of you sticking around here for 2 hours with me. I don't think you've all been here for 2 hours, but hey, if you're a chatter and you've been here for 2 hours, I appreciate you even more. The chat are the stars of our show, even if they didn't comment on those basketball games. Let's get to hockey, where they probably will have some plays. And I've got the Flames on the road here against the Blackhawks. And this one's at 3 Eastern and noon Pacific. In this one with the Flames, a big road favorite here in this one. Yesterday, I think we took – what did we end up doing with that Flames am I right? Oh, that was it. Oh, the Flame. We had the under. Okay, we had the under in the Flames and the Flyers. I almost wanted to pull the trigger on the Flames. They got all that late sharp action, and they really fizzled actually in the game. I'm glad we didn't have them. But I thought they looked pretty good. I was going to trust the Sharps there in that one. All right, in this one, I'm sure Calgary's going to smash the Blackhawks today. We saw Bedard. I mentioned yesterday his injury. Looks like a broken face. A broken cheekbone maybe is what it was. So I think they're going to sideline Bedard here. There's no reason. I mean, the Blackhawks, look, could they really get it going this season? He's got a broken jaw, so they put him on the injured list. Good idea here. Poor guy probably drinking out of a straw today. So Flames probably in pretty good position. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they'll could help the Blackhawks. Let's see what happens. Flames are a 500 team. They'll probably get this one on the road, cover the puck line. I'll take the Flames on the puck line, and I'll take the over. I've got the Flames in a blowout today against Chicago. Flames puck line sounds good. Ray on the Flames. Curtis, what do you mean on the last basketball NBA game there? Did you get it? Is that what you mean? Because we were on the last college over in Michigan State Northwestern. Okay. Doubles is still working on his college basketball models. Hey, don't let conference play get in the way. Final. Thank you, brother. All right, moving on here. Kings and Capitals. Looks like, hey, maybe the Kings have found a spot here today. Maybe I'm going chalky today here. I'm always going to try to find a way to beat my Kings, not because I want them beat, but I want to be very objective. Everybody knows I'm looking at the season here with Kings-colored glasses on at this point, but I'm sure they'll smash the Capitals here today at $1.75 or higher. They're up to $1.80, $1.90 at Bovada. The money keeps rolling in. So I'm not sure I can take the Kings on the puck line here. I'll just lay $1.90 here in this one, because I do think that this one will. And look, it's 5.5. I get it with Talbot and Kemper, the likely goalies in here, but. Man, I don't know. I probably still want to take the over. I'm the first to go under at 5.5, believe me. But the Sharps aren't necessarily all over the under here the way I see it. Now, the widely reported steam did come in on the under, no doubt, but there's been some pushback here a little bit. So I'm not necessarily so I'm just going to give out the Kings. Just going to give out the Kings here as a big favorite. Call me Count Chocula. Sikori will go over. Okay, Sikori, if you're going over, I'll go over. I'm doing another double play here in the NHL. I'm focused on the NFL today. So, yeah, the Caps can be pesky, especially on that puck line. No doubt about it. We've seen it kind of already. For the Kings, they do come in here right now, having won 13 of their last 16 on the road. Remember when they had won every road game? That's kind of come back a little bit now. But the Kings have gone under in 5 straight on the road, but Washington has gone over in 5 of their last 6 games overall. We'll mention 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone under, but I'm going to go ahead and go Kings, go over in this one. These two teams are solid unders this season, no doubt. Kings on the road, 4-12 to the under. Capitals at home, 16-13 to the under. And that's why. I mean, that's why you're seeing the 5.5. But Sikori's on it. I'll get it to sneak over 5. I've got the Kings can get 4 goals. They can win this one, I think, 4-2 here in this one. Just note, Capitals talk about they're stingy, and they have been covering some puck lines as a dog, but they still are. If you look at it, and the Kings are going to be, pretty decent on the puck line here if you really are interested because they're plus money. And it's one of the rare situations where you see the Kings are 10-6 on the puck line on the road. Not always as a dog. In fact, as an underdog, they are 6-2 as a puck line but as a puck line favorite, I should say, 12-15. So not perfect here. And Washington is 13-12 as a puck line underdog here, but you are having to lay $1.70, so it doesn't quite equate. Does seem like the value on the puck line is with LA. Well, maybe not anymore with the line moving higher. All right, you got my pick. It's Kings. It's over. Let's look at the night games. Maybe I'll save a premium here. Curtis, we went over in that one, sir, in the Northwestern game. All right. Thanks, Jimmy. A couple more here, Jets and Coyotes in this one. And you have the Jets, a favorite here on the road. They've won 5 straight, but Arizona's won 8 of their last 7 at home. Arizona's won 6 of their last 9 overall. But Winnipeg's coming to Arizona. They played at a couple arenas, but they have won 5 straight times. These two teams have met here in the Arizona area. Obviously, here we're playing at the Mullet Center. Winnipeg on that winning streak currently. They've been owning the series, as I said, as well. Not only winning here, but they've also won at home 5-2 on November the 18th for the only meeting here this year. And they won the 2 meetings at home before that, 2-1 and 2-1. So Winnipeg just kind of dominating here against Arizona for the most part. And I don't know, though. I think the price still might be a little bit too high. We were dealing with an Arizona team that wasn't quite as good maybe as they are now. So give me the over here in this one. I think it's currently at 6 for the most part. Showing a 5.5 over 15 at Bovada, but mostly 6 unders here. All graded at 6. Give me the over. Jets and Coyotes. Show's almost over. Jets first period for Ray. And we've got one more here, if I'm not mistaken, with the Red Wings taking on the Ducks tonight. Red Wings on the road. Mentioned the Kings, you guys, and I talked about how I was seeing $1.80, $1.90. The Kings are getting steamed right now, actually. Looks like across the board here. Tote board is going to be lighting up here in a moment. Kings taking a little more action, some big bets right now on those Kings today. All right. That's fine. We'll just lay it $2 now, whatever it is. Red Wings on the road here against the Coyotes. And man, did I just go over? And did Mr. Under just go over in every NHL game? Give me the over tonight here with the Red Wings and the Ducks. I was actually trying to target an over 6 here, but I don't think I was ever going to have a chance at that. There was some 6s out there. In fact, I even saw a points bet at 5.5 over 40 here, but I'm going to go over for sure in this one with the Jets and the Coyotes tonight. Can't necessarily point to long term, but right now, Detroit's gone over in 5 straight, including 4 of their last 5 games on the road. Anaheim's been going under in 5 of their last 7. They've also won 5 of the last 6 meetings here in Detroit. I know everyone's going to want to go under in this game, and I'm going to be contrarian here. It's the Ducks. They've gone 2-7-1 to the under in their last 10 games, but don't forget, Detroit is still 13-5. I mentioned 4 of their last 5 over on the road. They're also 13-5 to the over on the road this season. They're also 9-4 to the over as a favorite. And even though the Ducks maybe have been mostly an under team as a under, what are they? 15-18-1 to the under as an underdog. Okay, doesn't matter. I'm going to go over here in this one. That's the show. What do you guys got? Byron. Okay, Byron, we had the over in that one too. We had over in every game. Thank you, Doubles. You know what? We are going to do that game. We've got one more game to preview, and it's my mistake. I actually have it on my notes here, but I did not put a graphic in. We're going to make a graphic for this one because of the big game today. And shame on me because I was on, another channel this year as like, I might have been the only guy. Well, maybe you guys saw it, but I was on another show on Saturday mornings after our show here. And, I couldn't really do anything with FCS, I thought, on our show because the lines come out so late. And I really couldn't I had all my numbers ready to go, but the lines really come out on Saturday morning for FCS. So I couldn't cover it here on Tony's Picks YouTube channel. I would have liked to. Maybe we can get a way around that. But I did cover it extensively all season over on another channel. So, oops, not South Dakota. That would be something. But we did cover it all year. We had some pretty good picks over there. Yeah, we had some clunkers. But let's talk about the game today, the national championship game. This is at 2 Eastern, 11 Pacific, between Montana and South Dakota State, the FCS championship game with my Montana Grizzlies in there. But they are taking on South Dakota State. I'm a big fan of the Montana Grizzlies. People know that. If you know that, I used to run a big sports bar, and the Montana Grizzlies are one team that back in the day, before ESPN Plus, or you have to go to a big sports bar with a giant satellite dish. I'm that old, and I used to bring in all the Montana games, and they'd pay money to see them. I'd bring in the dish, I'd pay a fee, usually a couple $100, and then charge everybody like $20 to come in and watch the game. Maybe it was $10. I don't know what it was, but they didn't mind. We kind of split it with the alumni and bought a bunch of food and everything. So it's all good. I love Montana, but they're going to be up against it here against South Dakota State. I want to give Montana a chance. Why not? Come on. They're getting 2 touchdowns in this one, but for me, I got to think this one stays under here. This one is being played in Frisco, Texas. It's not at South Dakota State or anything. This is where they play the championship game at the Toyota Stadium down there. So I'm going to end up here on the under. I want to root for Montana. I'm sure they can cover. Come on, they're 13-1 this season. Montana, they did win. They beat North Dakota State 31-29 as a 2-point dog at home to get into this game. They won and covered as a home dog. They did lose to Furman against the spread. They beat Furman 30-28 in their quarterfinal game as a 14.5-point favorite. They didn't cover the spread. They opened with a win over Delaware, 49-19. They covered in that one. It covered a 20-point spread. For South Dakota, they beat Albany to get in here, 59-0 as a 17-point favorite. I lost in that one. I had the under. 59-0. I had under 49.5. How about that? They beat Villanova 23-12. Didn't cover the spread against Villanova, and in their first playoff game, they beat Mercer 41-0 as a 33.5-point favorite. So both teams had covered their first game, covered their semifinal game. Both teams lost their quarterfinal game in the playoffs here. I'll take the under. I'm rooting for Montana. I think the 14 is probably going to be the difference. I think this game is probably going to land 14. Maybe it'll be 13, maybe it'll be 12. I think it's going to be right about there. I think South Dakota, if it were 12.5 and 13 and I was going to make a pick, I'd probably still take South Dakota State. Let me see. Has it gone down from 14 at all? No, it's like 14 across the board. So I'll lean Montana State. I'll probably bet Montana. I'll lean Montana. Montana running back coach Justin Green, former roommate of mine. During the summer, he played for the Ravens. You might have remembered him bursting onto the scene, looked pretty good, and then a knee injury on a kickoff. Ruined his career, actually ended up with the Jets a little bit, but he's a running back coach there and one of their top recruiters, certainly in Montana. Great program. South Dakota, great program too, obviously. Not North Dakota State. Hey, Montana beat North Dakota State, all right? So Montana can do it here today. Thanks a lot, everybody, for joining me here on the show. Enjoy that championship game today. It's going to be right during the NFL. Not the best planning by the FCS. Probably should have had it on Saturday, but maybe it'll work out. Maybe they could have started the time different. Maybe they could have played it in a different. They've already, remember, this game, these two teams have been waiting for this game. Remember, they played their semifinals back on December the 16th, 15th, and 16th. So they've been waiting 3 weeks for this game. So everybody's rested. All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you guys so much for joining me here on the Morning Steam today. And we'll catch you tomorrow with more. We'll catch you tomorrow. Apparently, there's another championship game in college football tomorrow. Maybe we'll talk about it. Join me then. Thanks for joining me 2.5 hours. Hey, catch me on that other show. They mentioned it in the chat, and I'll be on there promoting Tony'sPicks.com. Head on over to Tony'sPicks.com and use the promo code TonyT at checkout. Save 20% off all premium pick packages, including mine for today. Why not support me? For just $25, get my top 3 plays for the morning games here, and you'll get get my top 3 plays, and you're supporting me as well. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Appreciate you all. For Tony'sPicks.com, I'm Ramon Scott.
Can it be showing up with Tony T? Yes, Ramon SEO. To the double T, be funnelling these bookies like 1, 2, 3. They tapping out and we cashing out. It's plain to see. The morning steam is the A-team, Mr. T. And I pity the fools who can't hang. Coming with real game. It's sort of a freight train. It's very